1,337 new COVID-19 cases found in a record single-day rise. Malta is considering reducing quarantine as the wage supplement is extended to January, and lecturers call for lessons to return online amid new spike. All this and more on Lovin Daily. Good evening, Malta and Gozo. Jonathan Chile here. And before we jump into today's top stories, I'd just like to give a massive thank you on behalf of the Lovin Malta team after the results of the latest Broadcasting Authority survey confirmed Lovin Malta remains the #1 platform for online viewing and a top platform for news locally, so thank you very much for that. We really promise to keep on delivering the best news and analysis and entertainment from the island. But now let's jump into the first story, a major story. I'm sure you heard about it already. Malta has recorded a new record of new COVID-19 cases, 1,337. This comes after yesterday's record amount of cases of 1,298. Once again, I do want to point out that though the numbers might seem shocking at first, with such a dramatic rise, if you focus on hospitalizations, you'll see that once again, hospitalizations have remained completely stable, with just 82 people receiving treatment for the virus in Malta Day Hospital, and of those, just 6 needing intensive care in the ITU, and no new deaths were recorded. So even though the number is quite shocking and the hospitalizations put it into context, the Maltese government, moving on to the second story, has announced that the COVID-19 wage supplement for employees working in sectors that have been affected by COVID-19 will be extended until January. Addressing a press conference today, Enterprise Minister Miriam Dalli said that the government was now evaluating the pandemic once again and see if the assistance could be adapted moving forward. Employees will be receiving a wage supplement of €800 a month for every full-time worker. Not only this, but the government has actually announced that they are discussing whether they need to reduce the 14-day mandatory quarantine period that people are facing right now. This comes after countries like South Africa, as well as the USA, as well as the UK, are reassessing whether you should force someone to stay in quarantine for 14 days. Minister Dalli said that the talks were underway with health authorities, and while those talks were underway, they have continued to appeal to the public to take the vaccine booster shot. And it's not just the government reacting to the spike in cases. Moving on to the next story, lecturers at the University of Malta are calling for the reintroduction of virtual learning as this spike continues to cause havoc in Malta. So the University of Malta Academic Staff Association, urged university authorities to allow them to continue lectures for the rest of the semester online, saying that it is safer than continuing physical lectures. Speaking to Lovin Malta, the president of the UMASA, Luciano Molestagno, said that they're very clear that they are in favor of in-person teaching. However, the risks now outweigh the benefits of in-person teaching. And they said, listen, some classes are up to 50, 60, 65 students. It would be very difficult to adopt the bubble strategy that might be used for smaller groups. So definitely let us know what you think in the comments below. From university all the way down to kindergarten, primary, secondary, do you think amid the recent spike in cases that lectures should go back online, classes should go back online, or should we continue to push forward with in-person lectures? Do let me know and let us know in the comments below. Moving on to the next story, a bit of an interesting story right at the end of the year, right before New Year's Eve. The police union, the Malta Police Union, has called out the fact that a number of police constables, specifically the reserved police constables, received a message a few days ago telling them that their contract will not be renewed and that they will be unemployed as of the first of the year. So the union said that it was absolutely unacceptable that these police officers were informed just days before next year that they're going to lose their jobs within days. And they said that these officers were being treated as, quote, sold meat. And they called out the fact that people had, quote, nice Facebook statuses, that there were all these press conferences and new strategies rolled out by police authorities saying that they're going to better the situation for officers, just so, midway through the Christmas season, they receive a letter telling them that they will be unemployed within a few days. The union said, quote, the union will not permit those who think they have some power to roll over everyone. And they said that they will not allow some, quote, chosen gods to decide who gets a job and who doesn't. So definitely stay tuned on Lovin Malta to see where this story develops. And moving on to the final story, you remember last week we had reported on a French couple that were facing eviction and had their electricity cut off on Christmas, actually, after they entered a feud with their landlord. Well, we've had a bit of a development on this story. This is 5 days ago we reported this story, and they've been 5 days and 4 nights without electricity. They told us that they are exhausted. We have a report with the latest update, as long as with some photos on lovinmalta.com, so you can check that out there. We also actually spoke to the landlord to kind of get a better sense of what's happening here. And the landlord gave his side of the story, saying, listen, this couple was actually renting out some of the rooms within the property to other students and making a profit out of that. It seems that they had some kind of agreement, but clearly both sides are very unhappy with the agreement. Either way, this French couple are still without electricity. It is pretty cold in Malta right now. In fact, there is a weather warning yesterday for the high intense winds that we are facing right now. So the idea that, you have a couple that are here to work facing such dismal standards is a bit shocking. So I do hope that the couple and the landlord are able to sort out this issue soon. I think that brings us to the end of today's episode of Lovin Daily. As always, for myself and the team, have an evening full of lovin'.